嗨，我是 Celia。今天的影片呢，要跟大家分享我在线上英文家教平台跟英文老师练习口说的心得。在追踪我的 Instagram 的朋友可能知道，我今年蛮卖力的在学习日文。然后目前呢，我的日文已经从完全是零进步到大概 N4、N3 的阶段了。可是因为太努力的学日文，所以我的英文就因此烂掉。再加上我这个人又特别的 I， 真的讲英文的时候还不多，因为我也不会太会讲话。那也不像以前在办公室的时候，或者在学校的时候需要常常使用到英文口说。但是呢，偏偏重要场合商业社交活动的时候需要英文口语，就会感到非常的困扰。另外我自己的学生不论是在申请学校或者是求职上面，最头痛的就是英文的面试。因为以往在台湾的学生比较少有机会能够跟真人去进行全英文的面试，但是到了英国之后呢，这个可能会发生非常多次，而且又攸关大家的职涯。尽管现在有很方便的 AI 工具，但是实际上战场的时候往往遇到的仍然是真人的主管跟同事。因此练习的时候，如果是跟真人练习的话，会更有临场感。如果你也和我一样希望找真人母语者练习英文口说的话，可以使用 italki 练习。 italki 是一个线上语言学习的平台，让你可以和世界各地的语言老师进行一对一的会话。不论你想要学英文、日文、西班牙文，几乎都可以找得到你想学的语言。不同于传统补习班或是自学的 App， italki 最大的特色是可以跟真人老师互动，而且时间弹性，价格合理，可以根据自己的预算和需求自由安排课程。I know my English is not perfect. It's not as native as it could be, but no one will correct me. So I don't know how to improve.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that's the other thing about if you come to someone like myself, it's like, okay, right, correct me. Tell me all these tiny little errors. And so just then, tiny one I could maybe say is you didn't say the UK.
Oh,
you
the
said,
UK,
I live
yeah.
in UK. But articles like that, that's one of the main things that students forget, because I don't even remember all the rules for it.
Yeah.
We just native speakers know how it feels
Yes.
to use one or not use the other, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what you're trying to build up as you're learning, is a natural sense of the language, rather than all these rules in your head, because I don't think that's how most people actually speak.
Yeah. Let's say I'm interviewing for a board game company's sales or customer support job.
Sure. Yeah.
What question would you like to ask me?
Almost always the first question is some kind of introduce yourself, tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself. What would you say in that situation?
I have to say I didn't prepare anything at all. I want to be as natural as possible.
Yeah.
But feel free to correct me as much as you can, because
Okay.
this will help with the audience. I'm a nerd, I'm an introvert, and I believe most of the target audience of the board games are introvert as well. So I know how to communicate with this group of people and persuade them to buy the board game.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, very direct. Cool. So just the only tiny correction, introverts. So in that sentence, most of the audience are introverts.
Introverts. Oh yeah, that's the common mistake I always
are
make.
introverted. So you can
Right,
go
yeah.
either way with that one. And this is where probably I'd say, maybe talk about your friendliness and your ability to make conversation, even though you're introverted. Might be a good thing someone in that interviewer might want to hear. But yeah, because you're answering correctly in the sense that if the job is a sales type job, you are going, okay, I'm going to introduce myself, but I've also got to try and say why I am good for that job. You're introducing yourself in the context of the job. Imagine I know a bit more about Celia now, and she's a nerd. She likes board games. That's a thumbs up, right? You gotta like board games. It's very common after a Kickstarter of a board game that things take a long time for games to arrive. Customers have to wait a little while for their games, and so you might end up getting some customers that are not very happy about that. How would you handle a difficult or upset customer? Someone who's messaging or calling frequently about where's my game?
Okay. I got 2 steps to resolve unhappy customers. The first step is I will always say how much I understand their circumstance and show my empathy, because there's no point to try to solve problem if this customer is pissed or not in the right mood. That will be my first step. And for my second step, I will try to argue with my line manager maybe and see can we provide some compensation for the customer, for example like voucher but for voucher for a next board game, not for this board game. So this might attract this customer to come back and shop with us. And depends on the circumstance. If this customer is so annoyed that he doesn't want this board game anymore or something, like trying to threaten us as a company, the further we can go is probably offer this board game for free, like for refund for this customer.
So, Mike, just before we get into the question, right, the little notes were, you said to resolve unhappy customer. I think it's almost there. You're trying to resolve the situation.
Right.
You can't really resolve the person. But we might just use an expression like to deal with. How would I deal with an unhappy customer? How would I approach dealing with an unhappy customer? Might be a better way to say that. The second one was if they are pissed, they are drunk. If they are pissed off, then they're angry. So that's what you meant to say. Yeah.
Okay.
You do sometimes say, oh, he's pissed, as in he's angry.
Yeah.
But in your sentence there, if he's pissed off, would make a lot more sense. The last little note I had there was you said about arguing with your line manager. In that scenario, arguing sounds a little strong.
Yes.
Because it's like, well, wait, you and your line manager should be agreed. You're both trying to help the customer. Yeah. You're both on the same team. It's more like discussing. And you're right. You would discuss with the manager, hey, can we give this customer a gift card? Can we give him a free game? He's just totally pissed off here. He doesn't want to talk anymore.
Do you still live in Manchester or?
No, it's a long story, but up until about 27 years old, I think, I worked and lived in Manchester and then for a year in London.
Yes.
And then I moved to China.
Oh, you moved to China?
China, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was in Guangzhou, Shenzhen for a long time. I think I was in China for around 6 years. My Chinese is not fantastic. I had like survival Chinese, but it was a great experience. And then eventually I came back because just to be closer to family. Obviously China's, as you know, it's a long way away.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to Europe, so Spain. I lived in Spain for about 8 years, and now I'm currently in Mexico because my partner lives in Mexico. So,
wow.
But I'll probably go back to Spain. Now, of course, I work online, so that's good. So tell me about your experience in Manchester then.
Yeah, I love it. I think I'm more a fan of Manchester than London.
Yeah.
Because you got everything you need, and it's not too crowded.
Yes.
Let's say if I'm going to do an interview for social media manager for your Instagram account to help you grow your business, what question would you ask me?
Yeah, well, first of all, maybe I would ask you, how would you help me bolster my followers or help me bolster my audience?
So I will try to sell myself. I've been doing social media marketing for probably 5 years. So I'm familiar with all the mainstream platforms, including YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and I feel like my answer is a bit rubbish, but that's practicing. Okay. I believe based on my 5-year experience and my skill set, including video editing, copywriting, and marketing strategy, I have enough knowledge to help you build your social media page from scratch. For the second reason, I think I will be qualified for the job is I used to work in e-commerce company. So I know some basic knowledge of data analysis using several tools. And with these tools, I can analyze your content data, find out what is the best target audience, in the end lead to a better growth of your page.
Yeah, you can call it growth, like development, improvement, however you want to say it. But that's perfect. That's a really good answer, by the way. Yeah. What would you say are some of the most important tips, would you say, doing this to improving or developing your page?
For me, being genuine is the key. Because if you're not genuine, eventually you can't fake it too long because your audience will soon realize. And this is how lots of PR crises happen.
Questions, I don't know. By the way, you've been hired, you got the job.
Oh, thank you. But did you notice any error, like grammatically error or anything?
Not really too much, to be honest. Like your English is really good. I have a note-taking app, so I was trying to listen out for a couple of things. I mean, I think you said apply, you missed apply for something. Oh, you talked about things like in the modern world nowadays.
Oh, right, yeah.
And we had these words like polarize. Dramatize.
Oh, right, that one, yeah, dramatize.
Yeah, algorithm sometimes is not an easy word to pronounce, but I think for you it was absolutely fine.
我自己上完这2堂课的心得是，我觉得老师们都蛮知识渊博，都很能聊，就从桌游然后聊到社群媒体跟这个两极化的世界，各种话题都可以聊。我自己遇到老师呢，刚好都有在不同国家生活经验，因此对于跨文化的学生呢，都非常的高度的包容跟同理，更能够体会我们这些多语者的心情跟痛点。那 italki 呢有7大卖点，第一个是付费弹性，可以按照上的课数堂数来付费；第二个呢是它有专业且多样化的母语教师群，在 italki 平台上有超过3万名的老师；第3点，它提供了个人化的1对1教学，根据每个学生的需求量身打造课程；第4点呢是它简单直觉的预约跟上课界面；第5，试听价格超级优惠，你可以多去试听不同的老师，找到跟自己最合拍的老师；第6点，除了1对1的教学之外呢，如果预算比较有限的朋友，我想要跟不同人一起练习的，也可以预约团体课程；第7，不论你身处在哪个国家哪个时区，随时随地的上课，增加口语能力。前50名输入我的专属优惠码 Celia 的观众呢，可以获得满$10赠送$5的优惠。那如果喜欢这支影片，可以在下方按 like， 然后订阅我的频道。我们下期再见，拜拜。